To join in the Rugby League conversation, go to rlfans.com/forums and sign up today. Hello everyone, my name is Rob, welcome to Kinetic Rugby League and welcome to the Super League Review Round 3. In this video I'll be showing you highlights from the latest round of Super League as well as talking about the games themselves. So let's get started. The 6 matches I'll be talking about in this video include Wigan Warriors vs Catalans Dragons, Huddersfield Giants vs Castleford Tigers, Kingston Rovers vs Warrington Wolves, Leeds Rhinos vs Wakefield Trinity, Leigh Leopards vs St Helens, and Hull FC vs Salford Red Devils.
It's a good ball. Morg going for the line himself. Can he get the ball down? Brilliant Wigan defence. It had to be. He was stretching every sinew, and he was pushed back. They're knocking on the door, and they're more than knocking on the door, because that is the first try of the game.
It was going to take something big and strong and powerful to get over that line, and there it was. Manu Mao, he comes onto this ball. As soon as this ball's played, he's just setting his target. He's already picked where he's going to run, and he's got to be brave. Look at him, you can spot the defenders. He's looking where he goes. He just settles a bit further out. Eyes up Singleton, hits and spins and gets over.
Mathieu Laguerre with an arm injury is off for the Catalan Dragons. Desiree does really well right in front of those Wigan posts. McAlorum looks right, goes left. May with a little pass, and the ball will go out surely for the try for Romano, and that's a brilliant Catalan try.
Look at there, just out the back play, and again, simple hands, you're making that defence come in. The ball's just moving really swiftly across there, and then we see Cuss there doesn't know what to do. He's got to pin his defence there, and that just opens up the side.
They've got a minute, they've got 6 players, they're going to go for 2 points.
So Harry Smith to put some points on the board for Wigan, and he does right at the end of what's been a pulsating first half here at the DW Stadium. Smith again will be involved in everything. That's a brilliant offload, and there is the try. Superb play from Kane Ellis.
And he run with some purpose, run with some intent. Gets his nose through the line, and then Harry Smith, look at him, he just wraps around. He goes through 2 players. That's a good play from the prop forward. He's just got to tuck the ball under his wing, and Harry Smith, well, as a halfback, you've got to know who can offload the ball, who can break a tackle. And he knew exactly what he had to do. He had to keep alive, keep pushing up.
Shrugs off the challenge of McAlorum. The referee here is going to say penalty. And every point that Wigan have on the board has come from that young man, and Harry Smith has got the feeling that there's 1 or 2 twists and turns left in this game, and this may be one as well. Brilliant run, chance, got to score, surely, gets the ball down. Now, did he score?
He's still got possession of the ball, it's in his arms. There's 1 man in the tackle at that point. Sloman has still got possession of the ball. Keep it going, keep it going. Keep it going on this angle. Pause it there. There. Thank you.
What a moment it is for the Catalan Dragons.
So just starting with the stats first and some key information about the team. So the spine that Wigan Warriors started with was Jay Field, Cade Cust, Harry Smith and Sam Powell. The tries came from Harry Smith and goals came from Harry Smith, who had 3. Top stats, Jay Field had 141 metres. He also had 9 metres per carry, 8 tackle busts, and Morgan Smith, he's had 62 tackles. Looking at Catalans Dragons, their spine was Artur Morg, Tyrone May, Adam Kieran and Michael McAlorum. Their tries came from Manu Mao with 2 and Arthur Romano. Goals came from Adam Kieran with 3. I'm going to give the honourable mention to Mike McMeekin. He had 96 metres, which was 4th best, 8 metres per carry, which was tied 5th, 3 tackle busts, which was 3rd, and 30 tackles, which was tied 4th. But man of the match for me is going to go to Manu Mao. He had 140 metres, which was 1st, 11 metres per carry 1st, 6 tackle busts 1st, and 2 tries. Now, for me, this looked like both teams looked a little bit slow and sluggish. they didn't look as free-flowing as they have done in previous games. Now, I will admit it's Wigan that normally looks like they play with more pace, and Catalans are based more on execution. So it doesn't always look quick, but they do play quick, and the execution's on point. It felt more about moments of brilliance from individuals than it did from team play. Of course, there were, one or two tries that came from team play, but it felt more like, players having individual moments to make things happen. One thing that's quite impressive for me about Catalans, because I kind of wrote them off a little bit before the season started, but their spine keeps changing week in, week out. I don't think they've had the same spine back to back, but they're still creating chances. They're still opening teams up, which is really impressive to me. And as you'd expect with Catalans, their defence is really solid. And against a team like Wigan, to hold them to as little points or as few points as they did is really impressive. Now, on the flip side of that, Wigan didn't look particularly quick. Harry Smith did his thing and made things happen, which he has been doing. But Wakefield not really getting as, or not as effective. Same with Cade Cust, same with Sam Powell. But, you have 4 top players in the spine. One of them does create, and Harry Smith did. But Catalans looked really solid and have been extremely impressive this season. And they're definitely showing me up. I think I predicted they would be 9th, specifically because I didn't have too much faith in the spine. I didn't have a lot of faith in the forwards. I thought they were going to be lacking, but they have just been incredibly clinical. They've been really impressive. So they're on a good run right now. I thought this was going to be it for them. I thought Wigan, on their best day, just have way too much pace. Execution has been really good last couple of weeks. They're just going to walk through Catalans, but I was completely wrong.
Lawler trying to go on his own and does so, and he does so. George Lawler, we said he was versatile. We said he could bring something to this cast side, and he's brought the first try of the game. Well, that is a turn up for the books. Here is Price now. Price changes direction, and the direction was towards the posts, and Castleford just got to him in the nick of time. Nathan Peats, McQueen's try! And the Giants respond pretty rapidly, and McQueen invited really to go through a big gap. So hand feed to Huddersfield Giants, 10 metres away from the Castleford Tigers line. They lead by 8 points to 6, and it's with Price, and Price immediately from the scrum makes an impact, and it was so simple for Will Price. Started off on the bench. Farge's injury meant Price came on early in the proceedings, and he's made his mark with his first of the season. Quick play, the ball finds Price. Price stabs a little kick in. Lovely try for Bibby. Lovely try.
So he gains possession and the ball is grounded. I have a decision.
4 tackles gone. Can they withstand this latest assault? McQueen looking for a second and getting it. Chris McQueen made that look so easy, but he sold the dummy. The Tigers defence bought it. And Chris McQueen, in his 4th Giant season, gets his 2nd try of the night. Peats, ball over the top to Russell. Russell on to the veteran Cudjoe. Cudjoe stabs a lovely kick in. Oh, what a try! Tui Lolohea, what a kick that was. Lolohea on the end of it. Cudjoe and Lolohea celebrate. Russell, Tuilola Heya, quick hands from Eason Masters. Here's Cudjoe bounces off, bounces over, and Leroy Cudjoe, who set up a try for Eason Masters. Well, Masters returns the favour there. The pass from the new recruit, the Cook Island International, and Leroy Cudjoe, second only to Earl Crabtree on the Giants Super League appearance list, gets his first try of the season.
Starting with the key information for the Castleford Tigers, their spine included Jack Broadbent, Gareth Widdop, Jacob Miller and George Lawler. The try came from George Lawler and goals came from Gareth Widdop, who had 1. Top stats, Nathan Massey had 97 metres, Adam Milner had 12 metres per carry, Jacob Miller had 4 tackle busts and George Lawler had 45 tackles. For the Huddersfield Giants, their spine was Tuilola Heya, Theo Farge, Oliver Russell and Nathan Peets. Tries came from Leroy Cudjoe, Tuilola Heya, Chris McQueen with 2, Jake Bibby and Will Price. Goals came from Oliver Russell with 6. Honourable mentions going to go to Tuilola Heya. He had 126 metres, which was tied 4th. 7 metres per carry, tied 5th. 2 tackle busts, tied 3rd. 1 try, 1 assist. But man of the match is going to go to Chris McQueen. He had 66 metres, which was only 12th best. But 7 metres per carry, tied 5th. 4 tackle busts first. 26 tackles first. 2 tries, best. 3 clean breaks, which was first as well. Really impressive game from him. Castleford, unfortunately, are going through a rough patch at the moment. It's going to be a difficult few weeks. Again, they do have quality players in the side. On paper, the way I saw that this Castleford Tigers squad going into the season was any team that they play against, regardless of form, they could still put up a fight. They still have a really impressive spine. They still have decent players out wide, fairly strong forwards, and they should be able to compete typically with most squads in Super League. If they just have a decent enough day, an okay day, they can be in the game. But they are really struggling right now, and whether the assistant coach, who's now taken over as the interim head coach, I can't remember his name, sorry about that, but hopefully you can get them going, maybe a change of culture, change of process in training, things like that, and they can turn things around. In terms of the Huddersfield Giants, they looked mightily impressive. Their ability to spread the ball and move the ball in tight spaces was really impressive. I think, the Giants did have a slow start. Things were looking tough, but they are looking like the team that I think I and most other people expected them to be. And huge props to Will Price. He looked incredibly impressive. His ability to control the game and to influence his team and to make the defensive team miss and have to worry about him so much is also hugely impressive. I think one thing that the Giants need to make sure is that they keep Will Price. Do whatever you can to keep him because he is so important to their future. They haven't even... I don't think Jake Connor's even been part of the squad yet. I'm not sure how long he's out for, if he's suspended or injured, I can't remember. But he's not even featured at all this season, I don't believe. But Huddersfield now are on the right path. They look how we expected them to look. Lola Heya doesn't look as sluggish as he did first couple of weeks. Is now playing with a lot of skill, a lot of pace. Theo Farge controlling things, running the game as he has done for all of the teams. Does it consistently well. Very underrated player, goes under the radar. And yeah, Will Price, impressive performance. But yeah, the Giants are where we expected them to be. So starting with the key information, the spine for the Hull Kingston Rovers included Lachlan Coote, Mikey Lewis, Rowan Mills and Matt Parcell. Tries came from Frankie Holton with 2 and Lachlan Coote with the goal. Top stats, Ryan Hall had 144 metres, Hall and Litton had 10 metres per carry, Hall and Opachich had 3 tackle busts and Dean Hadley had 58 tackles. For Warrington Wolves, their spine was Matt Duffy, George Williams, Josh Drinkwater and Daryl Clark. Tries came from Paul Vaughan, Matty Nicholson and Thomas McKaylee. Goals came from Stephen Ratchford with 3. Honourable mentions going to go to Daryl Clark. He had 111 metres, which was 3rd best, 9 metres per carry, tied 1st, 9 tackle busts, 1st, and 36 tackles, 1st. But man of the match for me is going to go to Thomas McKaylee. He had 98 metres, which was 6th best, 9 metres per carry, tied 1st with Daryl Clark, 8 tackle busts, 2nd, 16 tackles, which was only 9th, but 2 clean breaks and a try on top of it as well. Really well worked try. So man of the match for me goes to Thomas McKaylee. Unfortunately, stats for Paul Vaughan just were non-existent. He just didn't even show up on the stats list on the Super League website for whatever reason. I don't know why, but this looked like 2 teams, 2 very good teams, 2 very hard-working teams. One key difference, and I won't put this down to this being the reason that Warrington won, but one thing that certainly helped and was detrimental to Hull Kingston Rovers was missing Jordan Abdul, because he's been the key for Hull Kingston Rovers. They've been really impressive out wide and they've been able to create, but it's all come from Jordan Abdul. You know, they execute the plays, they can finish them off. Sean Kenny-Dowell's been impressive on, you know, in the centre position, for example. The centres and wingers can finish off the tries, but it's all coming from Jordan Abdul to begin with. But I have been seeing the last couple of weeks Mikey Lewis getting more involved, being more effective, creating more, being more of a nuisance. You saw that with, him turning George Williams left and right, nearly, coming close to a try. But Hull Kingston Rovers were missing Jordan Abdul, and it was unfortunate. But looking at Warrington Wolves, what I feel has been going on with them so far this season is they've been fortunate with the teams that they've come up against. There's been some really strong teams. Salford Red Devils probably the toughest team so far for them, and they were helped by a sin bin and a couple of 8-point tries. What it feels to me is that this Warrington team is so much better, like massively better than last season, but there are a few flaws in the team that I've kind of noticed each week, but they've been helped by something. There is something that has helped Warrington, whether it be against Leeds Rhinos were just a little bit slow and missed a couple players. Huddersfield Giants' first game, sin bins and 8-point tries against Salford, and then Hull KR missing their best player this week. So, not to say that Warrington don't deserve to be where they are. I'm a Warrington Wolves fan, and I think that we have been really, really strong, and are definitely a top 4 team in Super League. But what I think is important to acknowledge is that we have had some advantages in the last couple of weeks that have really helped us, just to kind of settle into things. So by the time we come up against Wigan on their best day, Catalans on their best day, Salford again on their best day, even St Helens on their best day, that we can then deal with those teams. Like, the wins have been important, because while last season would not have won maybe 2 of those games, Salford included, being a man up, we still would have conceded points. So it's important to acknowledge how we've been helped, but we have been impressive in opening teams up. George Williams has been hugely important with that. Josh Drinkwater is controlling games, and that is taking a lot of responsibility away from George Williams, who can focus on just being the player that we all know he is. Paul Vaughan has been an absolute tank in the forwards. Thomas McKaylee getting a lot of game time this season so far, and is showing up really well, definitely in this game as well. So Hull Kingston Rovers will be fine. they'll maybe have to learn to adjust without Abdul, but once they get him in, they'll be smooth sailing again. Warrington Wolves, building and building and building week in, week out, look really, really strong. So that's all I have to say on that. Starting with Wakefield Trinity spine, that included Liam Kay, Mason Lino, Lee Gaskell and Liam Hood. Top stats, George Taufau had 134 metres, Lynn and Battier had 11 metres per carry each, Kay and Kershaw had 4 tackle busts each, and Jordan Crowther had 46 tackles. Onto the Leeds Rhinos, their spine included Richie Myler, Blake Austin, Aidan Caesar and Jared O'Connor. Tries came from Denny McDonald, David Fuster with 2, Tom Holroyd and Harry Newman. Goals came from Aidan Caesar and Reece Martin with 2. Honourable mention is going to go to Nene McDonald. He had 204 metres, which was first. 15 metres per carry, which is also first. 8 tackle busts, first, plus a try. Man of the match for me is going to go to David Fusatua. 145 metres, second best. 8 metres per carry, tied 4th. 4 tackle busts, third. 2 clean breaks, first. 1 assist and 2 tries. So really strong performance from him. Leeds looked really quick. They played with a lot of confidence, a lot of line speed. The execution was on point. They had probably a lot of confidence beating St Helens last week. As I mentioned in last week's video, they were helped out by the 3 stints of sin bins plus red card. It didn't look like Wakefield were too... They did look like they played with some energy in defence. That's been one criticism I've had of them. But Leeds looked mightily impressive. A lot of pace, a lot of confidence. On the side of Wakefield, they didn't look too bad in comparison to how they have been. They did look like they caused some problems for Leeds. Did ask some questions of the defence. Opened them up a couple times. Got some good field position. Execution wasn't quite there, but they're building. You know, to put 0 points on the board is unfortunate, and they have struggled. It's not the first time this season that they've ended up with 0. But all things considered, it is going to be a long and tough season for Wakefield, but they definitely looked better. After that game against Wigan, they've probably had a big conversation with everybody, a deep conversation, and gone into what are we going to do to change this. And I feel that there is a slight shift with Wakefield. It's not anything major that's going to make them, playoff contenders or anything, but it's small changes. Defensive work rate is slightly better. Ability to open teams better. Pace better. just these small changes building over time eventually will get them to a point where they can close the gap on teams in the 80 minutes and potentially come away with some wins and get some, big 2 points on the board for the standings. But yeah, Leeds Rhinos, a lot of confidence from last week, looking impressive this week, and they'll probably build on that. Blake Austin looked really good. Aidan Caesar was running at the line and making things happen. Nene McDonald having a big game. David Fuster as well. Not sure what all the fuss is with Cruz leaving. I don't know why he wants to leave. I don't really know. Maybe it's an issue with the coach. I haven't really looked into it. But he would be a big miss. But Jared O'Connor seems to be filling in that number one hooker role really well. So hopefully he gets some good game time, can develop. Maybe, an issue with the culture at Leeds, I don't know. But they've looked really good the last 2 weeks, or looked better the last 2 weeks, and let's see if they can build on from this. Starting with St Helens, their spine included Jack Welsby, Johnny Lomax, Lewis Dodd and James Roby. Their tries came from Johnny Lomax and Jonathan Benison. Goals came from Tommy Makinson, who had 2. Top stats, Tommy Makinson had 141 metres. He also had 9 metres per carry. Mark Percival had 5 tackle busts and James Roby had 49 tackles. On the side of the Leopards, their spine included Gareth O'Brien, Joe Mellor, Lachlan Lamb and Matt Davis. Tries came from Joe Shorrocks, Zach Hardacre, Tom Briscoe and Josh Charnley. Goals came from Zach Hardacre with 2. Honourable mention is going to go to Tom Briscoe. He had 97 metres, which was only 8th best, but he had 8 metres per carry, which was tied 3rd. 8 tackle bust, which was tied 1st, plus a try on top of it as well. But man of the match, without a doubt, is going to go to Zach Hardacre. 108 metres, which was 6th best. 9 metres per carry, tied 2nd. 8 tackle bust, tied 1st. 21 tackles, which was 7th. 2 clean breaks, which was 1st. 1 assist and 1 try. Both teams in this game looked like they worked extremely hard, and they were playing extremely fast rugby. I would say St Helens looked fairly clean in how they went about doing things. Looked slightly less effective than normal, but when they did execute plays to perfection, they opened Leigh up, which is what St Helens did more consistently last season. We just didn't see it that much this game and this season so far. But they're adapting, new coach, maybe there's some new processes that they've been going through. But in terms of Leigh, some of their attacks early on didn't necessarily look clean, but what they did was cause issues for the St Helens defence to have to deal with. So they kind of created a lot of 50-50 moments, created a lot of chaos. So it wasn't necessarily clean, but whatever they did, they made St Helens struggle to retrieve the ball or to even slow down the progress of Leigh. So I would also say that the sin bin probably helped Leigh in getting points on the board, but I would say that they did kind of earn the points beforehand with how impressive they looked. It kind of felt like it was coming. They were going to put some points on the board. This was just kind of helped it along a little bit. But one thing I will say is it's really good to see Joe Mellor back in the side. I think this is his first game back, And just a quick comment on Joe Mellor. I think he is one of the most underrated playmakers in Super League. Because when he was at Widnes, he could open up defences easily. Like any top standoff you've seen in Super League, he could open up defences just by himself. And he's gone to Leigh, and he's helped them grow, he's helped them build as a team. And now he's back in Super League. We see him causing problems, being a nuisance, and hopefully Leigh Leopards can keep a consistent spine. But getting Gareth O'Brien back at fullback, Zach Hardacre in centre. I prefer Zach Hardacre as a fullback because when he was at Castleford, oh my god, he was insane. But Joe Mellor and Lachlan Lamb, if they link up and if they build an almighty connection, which they probably did a lot of last season, but if they hit another level, hit a different gear this season, they will be insanely good. Because Lachlan Lamb has already been a top player, and Joe Mellor is incredibly underrated. Gareth O'Brien can now settle into the fullback position, but the one thing I will say is stop starting Matt Davis. Get Edwin Apape starting games. Now, yes, he is great when he comes on. Yes, he makes an impact. But surely you want to start the game with your best players. Surely. That is my only criticism of Leigh Leopards. Start Apape over Davis. That is it. But hugely impressive from Leigh Leopards. Happy for them to get this win. And let's see if they can build on from that here.
Almost starting to look for an offload there, which got him in trouble and overplaying a little bit instead of just sticking with it.
Slicing towards the line. Is that the first try? It looks like it is. Clifford saw an opportunity and powered his way through.
Can Paul roll his side, complete a set.
Briley in the orange boots, and now here they come. Sneed's got a break. Looks left for support. Briley's there. Briley round the defence. Can he go to the corner? He hasn't got the toes. But that's what Salford can do.
Just really smart play. He spotted Scott Taylor on the short side there, and Mark Sneed's just burnt him there.
And they fizz it left to right. There's surely going to be numbers in this near corner. What a try it is for Salford. Briley instrumental, and Dion Cross touches down. And that was beautiful rugby league from the Salford Red Devils. Bit of hunger all of a sudden for the Red Devils. Sneed shows a little dummy, finds the ball, and carving through for try number 2 is, well, it was easy. Wright's the scorer.
But make their first change.
Oh, and Brodie Croft's away. Oh, and he's got support everywhere. Picks out Briley. And Salford just ripped Hull FC to bits. 4 could have scored that.
He's just gone through an absolutely massive hole there off a one-up carry.
Well, they're running it again, and why not?
Croft gets things going, and they're away and towards the line, and Salford are going to score. Just like that. Powerful burst through. And the Red Devils are running right.
Advise Mr. Kendall about the direction or otherwise of that pass.
Here's Croft. Oh, they're through again. It's Wright again. He needs support, does he? He might not. What a try. Croft to Shane Wright, who has another. And Salford stretch further clear.
Burgess and Partington last weekend. Oh, they're going to get a penalty, are they? No, the referee's played on. He had the whistle in his mouth, Chris Kendall. Now he's going to blow it. It's a back defeat since. A bruising defeat at Warrington, in which they conceded 2 8-point tries last weekend. Has he pulled that? No, he hasn't. Head of emerging talent at Hull FC.
2 gone to him.
Laffey's off again. Here they come. Laffey with Williams outside him. Laffey drew the tackle, still going back inside to Briley.
Third move.
Well, they're still running hot. Tony Smith hasn't even made its way back up from half time yet. And he'll look up and see his side defending their line, and they might concede again. They will concede again. And Cross goes over. He took a high shot and he scored. Tony Smith has only just emerged to watch the second half, and already his side are conceded. Dion Cross. Change of direction to Sneed. Gives it to big Sidlow. They're chucking it about. Globetrotter stuff from Sidlow. Briley with a grubber. Watkins will pick it up and say, if no one wants it, I'll have it. And there's 4 more. It's an absolute Salford stroll. He could go himself now if he wanted. Flings it back to Sneed. Dances off a couple of steps and a third. Mark Sneed. It gets better and better for Salford. It's an absolute... Spoken yet about another one of your old clubs, Castleford. Maybe we'll come on to that, because Salford are off again. Briley back inside. Williams in off his touchline. Briley wants it again. Briley takes it on again. Sneed and the queuing up. Laffey! Super slick. Stylish Salford. The Red Devils running hot.
I want to say that everything's coming off for them, but they deserve it, because they are putting themselves in that position. They've got people on the ball. They dominate and have a strong year and compete. That's nice play.
Now then, can Swift get away? He's got pace to burn, there's Swift. And he will go the distance. And it's a rare moment of cheer for the black and white fans. It's another try for Adam Swift. Won't brighten up the afternoon for the black and whites.
Go to.
Dwyer once again. Short ball to Brad Fash. Coming Hull's way here. Brodie Croft, Sneed, Atkin and Laffey. Handoff and another and another and a try. And that, in a nutshell, is Tim Laffey.
Starting with the spine of Hull FC, it included Tex Hoy, Jake Clifford, Joe Loverdoer and Danny Houghton. Tries came from Brad Fash, Adam Swift and Jake Clifford, and their goal came from Jake Clifford. Top stats, Adam Swift had 118 metres. He also had 20 metres per carry. Jake Clifford had 6 tackle busts and Brad Fash had 32 tackles. Onto the Salford Red Devils. The spine included Ryan Briley, Brodie Croft, Mark Sneed and Andy Ackers. Tries came from Tim Laffey with 2, Dion Cross with 2, Mark Sneed, Callum Watkins, Shane Wright with 2, Tyler Dupree and Ryan Briley. Goals came from Mark Sneed, who had 10. Honourable mention is going to go to Shane Wright. He had 82 metres, which was only 9th best, but 8 metres per carry, tied 5th. 2 clean breaks, tied 2nd. 3 tackle busts, tied 4th. 27 tackles, 1st, plus 2 tries. Man of the match, without doubt, is going to go to Tim Laffey. 119 metres, 2nd best. 9 metres per carry, 4th best. 3 clean breaks, 1st. 14 tackle busts, 1st, by a mile. And 2 tries, tied 1st with Dion Cross and Shane Wright. So I'm not going to talk too much about this game, mainly about the teams themselves, but starting with Hull FC. I don't know what's gone on the last couple of weeks with Hull. I don't understand it. They looked really impressive. Yes, they let in a lot of points against Castleford in round 1. Yes, they weren't overly impressive against Leeds in round, I believe that was round 2. But they did some really good things in attack. And they looked dangerous. Now, they did score 3 tries. Yes, 2 of them came really late. But I think most people could agree that typically if you score 3 tries in a game and you can convert all 3 of them, 18 points is a solid number of points to compete with a team. I think average points in a game would be anywhere from 18 to 24 points. You can normally stay within a game, but defensively, they were extremely weak. But to talk about Salford Red Devils as a team, not to focus too much on this game in particular, but as a team, what I will say is, and I firmly believe this, let's take some of the top teams in Super League right now. So I think Leigh could be dangerous. St Helens can be dangerous. Hull FC can be dangerous. Hull Kingston Rovers, Catalans Dragons, Warrington Wolves, Wigan Warriors. But you take Catalans, Warrington and Wigan, for example. On their best day, mightily impressive. But if you take all 12 Super League teams on their absolute best day, nobody is stopping Salford. Nobody. Not Catalans with the defence, not Wigan, not Warrington, not Hull Kingston Rovers. On their best day, Salford are miles ahead of everybody else. The squad that they have is so well balanced. The way that they play with so much pace, execution is on point. The professionalism that they play with is a different level. Wigan look impressive when they play with a lot of pace with the ball, but in attack and defence, Salford are insanely good. So on their best day, Salford are the best team in Super League without question. The only thing that will make them not to the best team in Super League is that they don't have their best day enough times. So it's then a consistency issue, which therefore makes them not the best team in Super League if they don't do it enough. But Ryan Briley has been so important. Brodie Croft being as talented and as effective as ever. Mark Sneed looks even more effective with his running game. We know how good he is with his kicking game, but his running game this season has actually been really impressive. And Andy Ackers has been solid at number 9 as per usual. But you've got players like Tim Laffey, who, we saw him at the World Cup for Samoa, has just been continuing that form and has been incredible. But Salford look brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And it just looks like they've got so many tools in their toolkit to just open you up in so many different ways. They look really impressive. So I wouldn't want to see Salford again on their best day. That is for sure. So looking at the Super League table, in 12th, Wakefield Trinity, 11th, Castleford Tigers, 10th, St Helens, 9th, Hull FC, 8th, Leeds Rhinos, 7th, Leigh Leopards, 6th, Hull Kingston Rovers, 5th, Salford Red Devils, 4th, Huddersfield Giants, 3rd, Wigan Warriors, 2nd, Catalans Dragons, and still in first place, Warrington Wolves. So that's going to be it for this video. If you have any thoughts on any of the matches from round 4 of Super League, let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with new content. You can also follow the social media accounts in the description down below. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.